All right. Good afternoon. It's Monday after Gem City Comic Con. Um, I've got Alina with me because she was with me at the table, and we're going to do our little recap of the show as a whole. Um, I don't know if it's the angle, but your belly is looking a lot bigger than it does.
I think it's just the angle.
Okay. Let's see. So we had 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, at the show. April 27th and 8th, 28th and 9th, 27th and 8th this year. About as good with dates as I am with names. So
And
that's
math.
fine. And math. Yeah. Thanks.
Sometimes. You're welcome.
I can always count on you to throw me under the bus. And probably, yeah.
Life duties.
So, I'm going to get a couple of things out of the way as far as like snafus and whatnot. Started off Saturday with a bit of a rough. I always have a lot of nerves before cons. I always have a lot of nerves, and you know this from the years that we've done it already.
Mm-hmm.
And
Never gets easier for him.
no, it doesn't. I've been doing it for like 10 years now. But you know, we got there, had a little bit of a difficulty with getting out of the driveway, and then a difficulty with finding the parking, which was not, you know, the con's fault at all. Just they had to deal with it as much as we did, and
Apologize every hour for it.
yeah, and you know, Jesse Noble and Bill Thade and just everybody involved do tons of work. It's our hometown show. It's where we met a few years ago. So I can't express how important it is to us personally. You know, and despite the difficulties that they had this year, I came away from it pretty happy.
Yeah.
Sales were a little bit less than we had hoped for, but on the upside, like there's a lot of upside, so I'm keeping the crap out of the way first. For me, and this might be some of the things for you as well, but the big upside for me was meeting fans coming back, getting our new issues of books. I talked.
Yeah, repeat customers is always
Yeah,
a good sign.
it's not just a good sign, it's really, for me as a creator, it's really heartening. I mean, it's really, it makes me feel good that people like my work, strangers like my work well enough to search me out and come back to me. You know, one guy came back from a store appearance that I did at I want to say Free Comic Book Day. Malik, he was excellent to come back and find me. Rod was another gentleman that came back, and we had conversations both days, Rod and I. And the fact that, you know, folks, and I had other folks, Darby's been buying all along, and I'm sorry, I know I'm going to forget names because I wish I could give shout outs to every one of them, but you know, I've had folks that have been coming to my tables every show that I've been to, or, you know, a good amount of them. So it helps me to remember that you guys are out there and you give a shit about my work, which is a huge deal. This one right here is my numero uno fan, number one fan, obviously. So, so that was a big plus for me. You have any? I'm going to alternate because it's more awkward that way, and that's how we keep it.
Keep it fresh.
Keep it awkward as fuck here. So.
I mean, not really. You hit on the biggest high point, and just having repeat customers. You know, having people that very specifically come to us saying, "Hey, what new material do you have?" That's really exciting and really nice to hear. Even those that, you know, the new customers that we've gotten have looked through a couple of the books and then decided to get all of them. That was really enlightening. It was really exciting.
Right. It's always fun when people, you know, just come up, and I didn't get a lot of questions, which is kind of a little bit odd. Usually I get some questions and I have to pitch, but that didn't happen a lot this year. So that actually probably works to my benefit because I feel like I'm god awful at pitching the books. So another plus for me was the art situation. So I told you like a couple days ago that I was donating a big piece for the charity auction.
The Red Woman, or
Red Sonja.
Wonder Woman.
Red
piece.
Woman, Wonder Sonja.
Yeah. Makes
and
sense.
you know, I like to donate every year.
Last year was the original artwork from Remedy 4.
Yeah, the cover for Remedy 4, and it was also the program cover last year, which Jesse was did me a huge honor by allowing me to do that.
And the guest badges.
Right,
Got to
and
be
the
on
guest badges. So that went last year, and Rachel Gladwin got that because she likes my work, and it's always fun. This year, when the charity auction was over, I saw this young lady walking through with that piece because it's big. She was like this with it, walking through the con, I guess looking for me, and she turned around and saw me, and
Well, it should be mentioned that that was a framed piece
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So it wasn't just like it was rolled up and she was just walking through holding it awkwardly. It was, by the time it was sold, it was a big piece.
But she was like super happy about it, wanted to get a picture of it with me, and just beaming ear to ear about how happy she was to have it. So that, plus it went for a very, very nice amount. I believe it's a record-setting amount for the charity for my piece. So that, that just plain makes me feel good. That makes it really, really good for me.
And just knowing that people want the piece that much, and hearing, we got to hear a testimony from someone that was at the auction and how she just refused to give up on that piece. That was really exciting too, because she just loved it that much. And I at least am thankful that it went to somebody that not only wanted it but is going to appreciate it.
Right.
It wasn't just a, hey, let me bid on a piece so that I can throw some money in this charity. It was, hey, I really, really want that piece.
Yeah. The other big high point for me was towards the end of the day on Sunday, I believe, yesterday. It all kind of blurs together after a while, but yesterday, Stacy, an acquaintance I met her in roller derby years ago. She was a Gem City roller girl. Since then has stopped being, but she still does a lot of cosplay, and she does Velma quite frequently.
She actually did Velma on Saturday.
Yeah. And, I had that Power Girl Velma piece, the Power Velma, and she saw it in my portfolio there, and of course I don't make prints of those types of things. And she was like, man, if I had three, or somebody, it might have been her, might not have, but she really liked it. And she came back around and was chatting with me on Sunday, and I just poured it out and gave it to her. And she just insta-tears. And, being able to do that, and she posted it up on Facebook and whatnot. I got a picture of it and put it on Instagram of her holding it, and just, being able to make somebody happy like that is awesome for me, because I spend so much of my time just toiling away at my artwork here at home by myself or with the family, and they certainly appreciate it, but, it makes me feel good to make other people happy with my artwork. So that was a big plus for me. So I'm glad that they enjoyed it. You got to scare the shit out of your sister with the clown, which I missed because it was happening at the same time as the Velma thing.
Okay, so there was a guy that was walking around that was cosplaying Pennywise. For those of you that have never read Stephen King's It, or seen the movies, or have no idea what I'm talking about, it's a clown that is pretty terrifying and has a red stained mouth because he eats people. My sister, who is deathly afraid of clowns, was sitting over at Dirk Manning's table, which was 2 rows from us, at the exact same spot. So in seeing that she was over there, and the guy playing Pennywise just happened to pass by, I got his attention and said, "Hey, the lady over there," and described my sister to him. I was like, "Can you just do me a favor and just go over there and stand awkwardly near her?" Well, he stood in the corner, because we did have an end table, and he stood in the corner for quite a while, and my sister just happened to mention to Dirk Manning, of all people, that she was afraid of clowns.
A horror writer, no less.
Right,
Yeah.
and, one that is doing pieces on Twisted, which, if you don't know who Twisted is, look them up.
Yeah, he's writing the comic for them.
And, of all people, she was stupid enough to mention that she hated clowns, as this Pennywise character is sitting in the corner, so naturally Dirk Manning invited him over and scared the crap out of her. The beautiful thing was that she didn't know that I was the one who had sent him over there. And she came over to tell us this story.
And we're rolling.
And
I was pissed I missed it.
We are in near
anyways.
tears at this point. And then my lovely husband decided to throw me under the bus and tell her that I was the one that had orchestrated it all along.
Yeah.
Which, sorry, not sorry, Leah. It was an opportunity, had to seize it.
It was worth it.
It was definitely worth it.
Yeah. Those were definitely the high points. On top of all that, I got to talk, and I know you got to talk with several people that you only get to see at cons.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see Bruce Hughes again, which we had a good little chat. Chris Charlton, whom I've worked with. His work is, he's got a lot of fun stuff out there, so check his work out. Scott Bachman, of course. You probably talked to him more than I did, but he's another local, so we always enjoy being at the shows with him.
Yeah, he's local, but we really only see him at shows.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott. I
guess
got
we
to
both
talk
need
with.
to get out of our hidey holes more often.
Right, with what time?
Right.
I got to sit and chat with Eric Martin for a little while.
Up and coming writer.
Yes. Fantastic. I got her Squid Files books for our oldest daughter, which she really got a kick out of that because I helped flat the cover of the second book. So Kira absolutely loved it because now she has a piece of Mommy's work too. Sat and talked with J5 for a while. He was at the table behind us.
Yeah, he's always great to talk to. He's such a sweet man. And, unfortunately his girlfriend wasn't there this year, but last year they were both there and we just chatted the whole con. And it's always a pleasure to talk to them and see them at shows. So.
We had that same setup where we were back to back last year too.
Yeah.
So
Who else did
that's
we
lots of fun.
Lauren Sparks. Got some cute little books off of her that I'm super excited about.
Yes.
One of my favorite artists as well, so check her stuff out.
Chris and Mandy, they were doing
Chris
cosplay.
and Mandy, yeah, they did the cosplay contest, and Chris's costume was just astounding this year. I don't know how much time he put into it, but that sword, he had like an 8-foot long sword that lit up. I mean, come the fuck on.
And Mandy has spent all winter long working on a Catwoman wedding dress, for spoilers, when Catwoman marries Batman. And it just looked absolutely beautiful, and she looked beautiful in it. By the time I saw her on Sunday, she had pretty much just gotten tired of being in strapless dresses, so she had a little Totoro like cloak over top of her, so I didn't really get to see the full outfit, but they're always great with cosplay, and all of their costumes are original and handmade and just beautiful.
Well, not only are they incredibly skilled, the two of them, but the cosplay, the amount of people in costume at this show, I think, is a new record, first and foremost. Because it was probably a solid third of the people there were in a costume of some sort. Saw the cutest little Princess Leia, little girl about this tall, dressed as Princess Leia. And
For those of you that can't see, that's about his waist level when he's standing tall. The Stay Puft was still
Stay
my
Puft,
favorite.
Yeah,
There's a little, like, just barely into toddlerdom that was dressed as a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
His parents were in
And-
Ghostbuster outfits.
That was definitely my favorite.
The family cosplay is so much fun when you get little kids involved. I don't do costumes. She hates that because she loves dressing up for everything. And
That is how we met too.
yeah, and this is about as dressed as I get. So, it's kind of it's still a lot of fun to see that and to see people get really excited about dressing up and going to shows like that. Is there anything else you wanted to mention real quick?
I don't think so. Just a huge thank you to everyone that has helped out with the show. Rachel Gladman does the auction. Amanda Gilliam, man, she just, I don't think she stops. Same with Jesse Noble. I'm always seeing them doing something.
It's stressful for me, and it might be a little bit for you as well. Probably not as.
Not
You're
nearly
pretty
as
chill
much.
about it. It stresses the shit out of me, but they're the ones that do all the actual work. So Jesse Noble is always running around. Him and his entire family, because Izzy's in on it. The kids are now in on it somewhat because they're little, but
Zuzu helped with passing out some merch to the area comic book stores, which was really cute to see.
To me, that's, given the fact that the cons are very franchised now, or very corporated now, the fact that this is still an independent show, a family-run show, and given the size of it, it's just a huge deal to us. The fact that it's our hometown, and the fact that they still have very reasonable door prices, the fact that they have 2-day show, and that you can come and go. Just there was something else I know there was, and me, I blank on my laundry list. But
it's funny because a lot of people that don't know that I do conventions, when I talk about them, the first thing they ask me is, well, who's going to be there? And I can laundry list artists and vendors for days, and a lot of them aren't recognized that easily because people have come to know comic conventions as multimedia conventions, really, where they get like actors and people that they have seen on TV that come to these things. But then that's when the door charge goes to like $70 just to get in. And I like that Jesse doesn't do that. He keeps it simple. He keeps it comic related instead of multimedia related. Yeah. And that's
their motto, is we do comics. And this year they had Chris Pacello, who's been the artist on Spider-Man for years.
He had a line for the entire time he was there. That was really impressive.
And he doesn't get out to shows all that often, to be honest. And so to have him there, he's also the artist from the old series Death, the High Cost of Living. So that's like a big deal to me because that's from when I was a kid. But it's to have that quality of an artist there, and there was a couple other folks like that were there as well. And I got to talk to Brian Level, who I really enjoy. He's such a sweet guy too. He's done work for Marvel and some other companies, Image. But it's one of those shows that flies under the radar more than it deserves to, and that's why we're both like, please, be aware of this show. It'll be around again the end of April next year, I want to say 24th, 25th.
I don't remember. I would have to look it up.
Something like that. We're already signed up for it, so if you don't just come out to see us, then go and see the other folks.
Go and see some of these amazing artists.
Yeah. And if you're not into the comics or the artists, go for the pops. Go for the Walking Dead books, or they've got movies. Some of them they've got toys, tons of toys.
We got magnets and stuffed animals for our girls at this at this year's con. I mean, the vendors definitely take up a little over half of the convention floor, and that's for a reason. They have a really good merchandise. You know, even if you don't go out there, still in the Creators Corner, there's people like the Twisted Wire people, which is just incredible to see their works of art.
Yeah. You can buy all kinds of original art if you like, if you got a budget for it. Sketch cards were big again this year. I was kind of surprised by that one. I didn't have the equipment for it there, but or the cards actually. But
Yeah,
you know,
I think that's
it's
all that Lauren Sparks was
yeah.
doing
And
while
it-
she was
well,
sitting.
the
was
guys,
trying to
the,
keep up
the
on
folks from
sketch cards.
WS or from Wright State were there, and they were
Yeah.
doing just a table full of sketch cards.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's original artwork. That's, you know, somebody took the time to make that individual piece,
And you will be the only
Right.
owner of a
Right.
piece like that.
so, you know, just again, super happy with the end result, even though it had its hiccups this year. It has hiccups every year, but
Yeah,
You know,
everything does.
it really feels like a family event, and that's a huge part of the reason why we enjoy it as much as we do.
And not even just feels. I mean, it really is a family event. The number of kids that go are incredible. You know, some of the
Saw a lot of pregnant women there.
yeah. Well,
Which
I think
is-
that's
Something in the water, maybe.
maybe. But I mean, even some of the vendors end up taking their families.
Yeah. Well,
You know, it's not a place where you have to cover your children's eyes because of something that you don't want them to see. You can just have them go and look and do and just be present as much as you are, and you know, find things for them and yourself. And I like that a lot. You know, especially having children of our own, we kind of revel in things that we can take them to and enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
So.
Right, on that note, again, you know, thanks for watching. Hope you guys, if you didn't get it to this year's, go to next year's Gem City. Jesse is main operator for Champion City in the end of October, I believe, in Springfield. So it's a
That one's
smaller
a little bit
show,
smaller.
yeah, but it's still, you know, still a lot of the same stuff there. So, anyway, thanks for watching.